Krista, I'm an addict.
I'm Gracie and I'm not, and welcome back to our 19th episode.
So today we're going to talk about how to, in recovery, I feel like it's not just a one-dimensional thing. Like, obviously, this is, I'll have 2 years clean in February. And, so, like, the drugs and alcohol, kind of an easy thing to put down this time around. Like, wasn't really an issue. So, then I went through all kinds of emotional growth and spiritual growth. And, like, now, I feel like I'm at a time, the 2-year mark has always been a very dangerous spot for me. So, I either would get, like, complacent in my recovery, or I would start getting, like, too emotionally, like, exhausted from things. Like, there's just 2 years is a dangerous spot for me. So I've had 2 years clean, like, 2 different times and relapsed right after, or right before, whatever. So I started to pick apart some of my habits. I'm trying to quit some bad habits. I'm doing good on the vaping. It's just not a good thing. Caffeine, not. Like, I had such a massive headache just not drinking caffeine the first, hour and a half that I caved. So caffeine's not where it's at. Not happening. That might be why I don't feel very good, but, so other things, like, I feel like that a lot of times when I'm trying to, distract myself from, what's going on, or if I'm overstimulated or, understimulated, rather than, pick up a book and read it, or, meditate, or do something learn a new language, or something proactive, I was spending tons of hours scrolling through social media and TikTok and whatever, and so I've deleted some of that stuff. Deleted TikTok, and I swear all day long yesterday I found myself picking up my phone so many times, gonna do that. So I'm seeing how much time I wasted doing that stuff, and I feel like that you gotta break away from that for a while. So far, so good. I've been reading at night instead of scrolling.
How do you think those things help you in your recovery?
As a person, I feel like I spend so much time with that phone in my hand, I don't know, I just had the realization that anything that I put into my mind, feed my mind, is just food, and the food that I consume, I keep going back to that. The food that I consume, if it's good, I'm gonna feel good. If it's sugar and bad stuff, I'm gonna feel bad. And that's the same with what I'm watching. If stuff on TikTok is about whatever it is, and I'm feeding my mind that, if it's negativity, that's gonna I'm gonna attract that kind of stuff. So I've noticed that my life's been pretty positive in the last week. Everything's been going good. I'm in a better mood. I'm not off on some tangent because I've been scrolling through TikTok and it showed me 30 videos of the same thing where I get hyper fixated on that.
Yeah.
So one of the main reasons why I've started to look at all this stuff is because I've had some major changes in life with the job. So I have a new job. The time of when I'm working and stuff is a lot different, and the new job that I have, I was able to, for the first time, take the kids to school in the morning, and my daughter was so excited. It was her grandmother told me over the weekend that she was talking to her about it and was just so excited, and it was really emotional for everybody because I feel like my mom and her were talking, and they were just they were crying because it's just been it's been a long time. My kids, my mom stepped up and has taken the kids to school because my job, I had to be in there early, so I didn't get to, I don't know, I felt like a real mom today, dropping the kids off. They were excited. Little one, not so much. Had to peel her off. But, just, it's been a slow transition into, but I just didn't want to,
rush into it.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
We've talked about that too, how that's helped you a lot. I think, personally, that's one of the biggest things that has helped you in your sobriety this time around.
Yeah, and it not so much that like taking them to school was something that would be rushed into, but just like the job that I was at, I just felt like that I needed to stay there and get like a length of time for like job history. Like I was doing things for my future, you know what I mean? Like if I stayed at this job for long enough, then I can go on to something else. And I feel like this is that something else. I'm starting a new like chapter in my life. So with that, you know, a new year, new habits, and it's not like that's just coincidence that it's the beginning of the year. I just felt like it was just time. I have like I said, there's like new environment, new people that I'm around, and like just everything's different right now. And I thought that would be like really overwhelming, and I don't like change at all. A lot of addicts that I know do not like change at all. But it's been refreshing because I was like getting complacent. I was getting to where, it just, everything was just so, and even though I like routine and structure and stuff, it was becoming.
Well, you kind of talked about that too. You're kind of getting burnt out on it because you did the same thing every day. And it's not that you were, like you said, not tired of the routine, but you were tired of the routine.
Yeah, like I need structure and routine, but it was that I felt like I had a routine with no purpose. Like obviously going to work and we're paying my bills, there's a purpose there. Well, that served its purpose. Now like I'm looking more for like a life purpose. Like how am I giving back to the world? I mean, that's very broad, but like just, you know, it was just time to kind of like use my experience to help other people. So that's where I'm at.
So going back kind of a little bit, but so how do you think like all these things are affecting your sobriety since you're getting close to your 2-year mark?
I just think if you want to see changes in your life, you have to start with like little things and like change your daily habits. Like I've been waking up early too. Like I would like hit snooze a whole bunch, and it's just simple things like that. But I can see like whenever I do those things, like I'm not getting up and working out, but I did early on in recovery. And when I would like do those things like that I didn't want to do, like obviously I kind of liked scrolling through TikTok or like vaping nonstop. like I like all those things, but it's like those things are not good for me at all. And it might just seem like something little, but like I said, like just those daily habits that changing up on it, just like I don't know, I feel like I'm attracting more like positive things in my life. Like more positive things are happening as I'm changing these little things. So it's not like, even like I've been going to like different meetings and like getting different perspectives. Like I'm not just like singled to one place that I'm going. It just helps to look at all aspects of your life and where can I make positive change. And that's I feel like that's not just with addicts. Like that's just on growth. Like I just don't want to be.
It's almost kind of like when you change things, you're getting farther into like the like sobriety part of it too. Like I don't know how to word it. Like changing things is helping you grow as a person. Like whereas before, like when you would stay like complacent in those things, that it was so easy to revert back to old behavior. Like the more you change, the more, like you said, the more positive things you're attracting. So you're further away from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like that old self. And that's, okay, so that's like a huge point. Like in the past when I've got to that point where like things are seeming like I'm like being like heavily distracted by like social media, and like I'm not doing like good solid things. Like I would start going back to what like made me feel good
and comfortable.
Yeah, like what fed my ego really. So I would like go back. That's when you have to avoid old places, people, and things like whatever. And I've done that in the past. Like went back to somebody that was like not good for me, or started hanging around places that weren't good for me. And so like rather than do that, what is like easier and will make me feel better faster, I decided to like move forward and change different things. And with that, like it's a different stuff. So I know like it just feels good. Feels like not instantly good. Like,
Right.
it feels like I'm moving in the right direction. So yeah, moving forward rather than getting stuck. So that's easy to do. And I think like in my past, like when I have felt like that, I've definitely relapsed. When I would get to a crossroad where like, all right, do you want to take that next step forward or you want to go back where it's comfortable? And like this time I didn't choose to step back. So another thing, like I took this step in this direction because it would give me more time with my kids. And with that being said, I've started to get more responsibilities with them. And I've realized every time I felt like things were overwhelming, like it just needs some time to get used to the change. And like over the last week, I was just super overwhelmed. Like I felt like I wasn't doing enough. I felt like I didn't have enough energy to like be there. And that's just where I had to like at the end of the night like let that day go. And that's what I'm taught in the program, to reflect but leave it, you know. Because I can pick myself apart real easy about like what I'm doing wrong, but I gotta remind myself of like how far I've came since I didn't have any of these responsibilities. Right. So, and anyway,
and from your kids' perspective, they're just happy you're there.
I mean, they're ecstatic.
That's just like them being so excited you could take them to school today was so like that was huge for them.
So also, what I have learned from experience is that like I think that like whenever I'm experiencing like personal growth, personal like positive change, like I don't want to sound like I'm I'm spiritual, so like this is when it's old people and those things that are going to tear you down is when they start to surface and come back and try to like weasel their way back into your life. And I swear, like I feel like I can almost like see it coming like so intuitively, like the intuition that I have gained in recovery because of that spiritual growth. Like I can feel whenever it's getting ready to turn back up, and sure enough, like every time somebody will like message me or try to reach back out, and I just like I cannot entertain it. I know that it has not served like a good purpose in the past, so I just don't even entertain it. And that is also like something that like in recovery that I've had to be very self-aware about. And I mean, I feel like you can even attest to that, like just not being an addict. Like if you are trying to have good things happen in your life, like things can trigger like your growth.
Yeah.
Things will happen over and over again until you learn the lesson.
That's true.
Facts.
Good point. Thank you, Krista. I agree with your statement there. There's like things that I've done that I've realized that I've had to grow and change, and I mean I've done stuff I'm not proud of too that I've learned. I've realized that I can't keep doing the same actions and expecting to get positive responses. So gotta grow and change.
That's what, look, so if you do not have friends in your circle that will call you out about like what you should not be doing, then you got the wrong friends, or you're not ready for mature friendships, I feel like, because well, I just know when you call me out, it's coming from a loving place and vice versa.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
And I have other friends who will straight call me out, and I'm grateful for that, because that helps me know that I got the right people around me and that will not let me fall. So,
but I agree with you, like going back, just like, I mean, not even from necessarily an addict standpoint, like there's things I realize that I want to grow and become, always want to like better yourself and grow, and that's like a huge goal of mine recently. But finding things that even for me that push me into more positive choices and decisions, that's important for me to continue to grow as a person too.
We hope everybody's new year is starting off right.
Yes.
With not cliche resolutions, is that what you call them? New Year's resolutions, but like positively changing your life. Yeah, keep coming back.
Keep coming back.